What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Clock here on DESU Radio. Shout out to them for letting us use this wonderful station to record Off the Clock. As always, I'm your host, Zay. J. Cole, we gave him the day off. He's been working hard. And we got our guy, Ashton.
Your boy Ash here, man.
Yeah, I know it feels weird without J. Cole today, Ash, but it's a me and you adventure, so let's do it. So we're going to kick things off, ladies and gentlemen. Alabama, number 7th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide, taking the L Saturday night 24-3 to unranked Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Ash, you're a big Alabama fan. Talk to us about it. What was your
I'm not tripping. Russ did that game. You don't just call back. It's not no coincidence you called 2 crazy touchdowns back. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going.
Yeah, I did see that Ryan Williams.
He
touchdown.
had 2. You called back both of our touchdowns throughout the whole game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going for none of that. Like, probably still would have lost by probably 10 points because, we wouldn't have. They had about 3 touchdowns on us because they had I think it was 30. It was 31 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so they still would have probably ended up winning by 10 or something, but
you had 24.
Yeah, 24. Okay, I kind of thought it was 24, but for some reason I thought it was 31. But yeah, they so example, they still would have had probably like 10 points on it, so we still would have had to go in there and win. But yeah, they refs sold that game for us. I don't think that we're a bad squad or nothing like that. We don't have consistency on defense. More so, we have way more consistency on offense than we do defense. Defense has respectfully been very subpar this year, and which I'm not understanding because these are a bunch of guys that played under Nick Saban for about maybe last 2 years. Malachi Moore literally played under Nick Saban for 4 years, so I think we'll still be solid. They still gonna let us into the playoffs, so I'm not tripping about that. I feel like the only way we don't get in is if we lose to Auburn next week. But yeah, I think we'll be good. But overall, I think the refs kind of took that game away for us, if I be honest with you.
And Jackson Arnold had a great game, not gonna lie, doing it, well on his feet. Passing wise, not so much. He only just had 68 yards and then 9 for 11. Mm-hmm. But 25 carries, 131 yards by the quarterback. And then you go to Xavier Robinson, the running back, 18 yards. 18 carries, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns off of that. So almost a combined 200-something yards between the quarterback and the running back.
On the ground.
On the ground. When you go over to Jalen Milroe, 11 for 26, 164 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yeah.
And he's sitting at 100 and some yards without the 2 touchdowns called back. So factor in the 2 touchdowns that wouldn't call back, he's probably sitting way over 200. Like that
easily.
That's what really blows me. Like, yeah, we got this game taken away from us. The first 2 games that we lost, I don't think that was referees or nothing. But I 100% think that this game that we lost on Saturday was referees. So, but either way, I think we still get into the playoffs. They make more money watching us lose in the playoffs than they do watching us lose in a regular bowl game. So
SEC championship is coming up. You got a little hope for Bama.
Nah, I think Texas and Georgia got that locked away. If I'm being completely honest, because I think we out of the 3 of us, out of us 3 between Texas, Georgia, and Alabama, we have the most losses. I think Texas only got 1.
Yeah, I know Georgia has 2. They're not at 2.
Yeah, currently. So Georgia will automatically get in over us, probably. And yeah, I just it's like slight hope, but I don't think we can get into the SEC championship. And even if we was, that I don't even think I want to see that right now, if I'm being completely honest. So we just gotta move on. Except that we probably gonna end up getting to the playoffs. Take whatever seeding we get in the playoffs, and then try to make a run from there. At that point, I would say.
Colorado losing 21-37, upset. I'm losing to unranked Kansas this past Saturday. Ash, we were watching that game for a little bit. Defensively wise for Kansas, lights out. I'll be honest, especially from the get go when we saw in the first quarter, second quarter. Yeah, lights out defense. Shadur Sanders. Still playing good. 23 for 29, 266, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, he cooking.
He's cooking.
I don't know.
It's just the defense. And then, you know, as I always say, I sound like a broken record, but defense wins championships. And to win a championship, you need defense. You can have an explosive offense all day, but if you can't stop.
You can't stop no offense, what you going to do?
Right.
Like,
USOL pretty much.
Prime said it the best. He said they got intoxicated with success, and that's just like, respectfully, that's even something that you can say at Alabama, because, like, ever since that Georgia game, bro, we've been on some you know what. So it's like, bro, every single time Colorado get this close to a breakthrough, they take 2 steps back, bro. Every time, like, they just, like, gotta, like, whenever an opportunity presents itself, like, you just gotta take it. Like, even last year when they got ranked for the first time, they took 10 steps forward, 20 steps back, bro.
Definitely.
Like, y'all,
it's like they started hot, and then like Oregon humbled them, and then they could just never, you know.
They knocked off the national championship runner up in their first game, and had the world in their pocket, bro. And they just flipped their pockets open and just let everything go, bro. I'm sitting here like, man,
it's like,
come on, yo.
Once that blowout to Oregon, remember we was in Ohio last year.
Yeah.
You know, for that DSU game, and we were like trying to watch both the games going simultaneously.
They was getting cooked.
Yeah,
yo.
they were getting cooked. And it's like pretty much after that they were just never able to recover.
They was never the
and it's
same
like they battled
again,
through so many
yo.
injuries, you know, especially for Travis Hunter.
Like, and then that's another thing. Like, I know a lot of coaches preach, like, don't look too far into the future, but you can do that to an extent because you can somewhat see what your future is going to be. And when I say that, I mean, like, you know, we know that Shedeur Sanders is going to be a first-round draft pick. We know that Travis Hunter is going to be a Heisman finalist, probably going to end up winning a Heisman.
And also,
and now we know that they're bowl eligible. Those are 3 things that you can look forward to like propel your team to keep moving forward. Like, the type of success that they're having, like, going forward, that you can use those type of things. Like, we're bowl eligible now. As soon as I find out, if I'm Prime, as soon as I find out we're bowl eligible, now we got to figure out now it's about what bowl do y'all want to really realistically play in? Like, what bowl does, like, whenever you come out here every Saturday, what does your play say about the type of bowl game you want to be in? You know what I'm saying? Like, does your play say, oh, I want to be in a Rose Bowl that leads to a national championship? Do I want to be in what's another one? The Sugar Bowl is always a good one. Or do I want to be in the Duke's Bowl. Mayo, but Cotton Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Frosted Flakes Bowl? Like, is that the type of game?
Not the little mediocre bowl. It's like, for me, you want to play for Colorado. I mean, and they're so close. I mean, they're 16th ranked. You know, just 4 more spots up to that last place.
4 spots
for that last spot. In the
4 spots
playoffs.
that y'all had 4 spots. Y'all couldn't climb up 4 spots. Y'all wasn't ranked for like 4 weeks in a row. And y'all went from 22 to 16. You mean to tell me you couldn't go from 22, 16 to 12 at least? Respectfully, like I said earlier before the show started, if we had a loss on Saturday still and Colorado wins, I have no doubt in my mind that they take that number 13 spot going into next week. And then you take that number 13 spot going in the next week, and then you win going in the next week, and then you get the Big 12 game, and then you just going to keep going up and up and up, because it's not like the NFL where when the season is over, you know, rankings stop changing. No, rankings change up until the playoffs start. True. So you win that Big 12 game, you can go from 22, 16, 13 to possibly going from 22, 16, 13 to like probably maybe 9. Maybe 11, maybe 10, but you can still keep climbing and keep yourself in that playoff joint. They're not going at all.
Right.
So they got to pick it up.
You know, when you look at Travis Hunter still stating his claim to that Heisman Trophy, 8 receptions, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, trying to get it done on his own, but he's just one man. He can't do it all himself. It's like,
I mean, like he can.
You can have one superstar.
Like he can do it on his own.
You could, but then at the end of the day, football is a team game, and it's just one man can't.
Yeah,
save
he just
a whole
can't
team.
win, but he can
try.
Carry it.
He can try.
He can carry it on his own. He just can't win on his own. That's it. Now, GT, yeah, he get a pass. He can do it on his own. I don't even know no other person on that squad besides GT.
him.
Yeah, he one of the ones that could do it on his own. But let me say this before we go off the topic of Colorado is that like another thing with Colorado is that we're still seeing traits from Jackson State boiling on over here. If you don't know, if you wasn't following college football too much, then you wouldn't know that like that Prime went to 2 back-to-back Celebration Bowls, and the Celebration Bowl is pretty much the national championship for HBCU.
And unfortunately, lost both of them.
I think to the same squad.
No, first year 2021 they played
FAMU.
No.
FAMU was the current one though.
No, they played South Carolina State 2021. And then 2022 they played Central. I remember tight end dropped it in overtime.
Yeah, and then whatchamacallit, FAMU won last year.
Yep,
okay,
they played Howard last season.
Yeah, and they got in the first, and I think the first year when they went, I think they got blown out by South Carolina State.
Yeah, I think they did. In the
And
first
then
one.
last year came down, and then the
2022
came down to the
overtime.
wire. So it's just like when you see this type of track record, is it always the players or is it your game plan going into these big games? Like, are you underestimating the type of competition that you're playing going into these games? Because this is a big track record with Prime now that you can look back at when it comes time to crunch time.
Games.
Yeah, your team never comes out on top. So is it your players or is it you? So that's something that'll remain to be seen going into these last couple weeks of college football.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Still a little bit more time for Colorado to get into the playoffs. Kansas 37, Colorado 21. Before we move to NFL, I want to give a quick shout out to volleyball winning the MEAC championships last night. I remember this is the second time they've won since I've been here.
Hashtag Yeet.
Yes, hashtag Yeet all the way. Yeah, it feels refreshing to see see DSU get the championship. I like that. Switching on over. Browns getting the win against the Steelers this past Thursday night, 24-19, doing it in the snow. Did not think Browns were going to get this dub, to be honest.
I didn't think it was going to snow like that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to snow like that either. Especially,
I didn't think it was going to snow like that.
I saw a picture, it was like the first drive, it was all clear, and then the next drive,
I ain't gonna lie. I watched the first part of the game, and then I woke up for like the last part. I'm like, yo, when did it start snowing all type of crazy like this, yo? Like, what's going on? But overall, what do you think of that game?
I thought it was good. Nick Chubb getting that game sealing touchdown towards the end. But I mean, with Jameis fumbled, I'm not gonna lie, he fumbled probably, I want to say like 3 minutes left.
Yeah. And
the Browns got a defensive stop, and I was like, oh man, I'm like, all right, this is gonna come down to the wire. Yeah, for Jameis, 18 for 27, 219 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he did have an interception. I did catch that one. Ball pretty much just slipped straight out of his hands. He was throwing a curl route to, I think, Jerry Jeudy. He was trying to throw it like kind of to the side a little bit, but then once he let go of the ball, it kind of looked a little like a fluffer nutter.
Like it messed up at the fingertip.
Yeah, and the ball didn't even really get tipped. It kind of just like slipped out of his hands, and then just got picked off. But for Jameis, I'm still proving he could be a starter in the league. I feel like
he's just not elite. He can start. He's just not elite.
Yeah.
That's all it is. He can start. But he's not an elite quarterback. So he's a placeholder. You know, like what Cam was saying last year about different quarterbacks, game managers, game changers. He's right now he's managing what the Browns need to make something out of their season. They only got 3 dubs on the season now.
Yeah, they're 3.
So yeah, he's not coming in to change the season. He's coming in to manage it. You know, and manage it well enough to the point where, respectfully, Stefanski can keep his job. So and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes respectfully, even those game changing teams, sometimes they don't need the game changer. Sometimes they need to manage. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eagles was in a spot like that a couple years ago when Jalen Hurts he went down that one season they went to the Super Bowl. He got hurt, I think, probably 3 or 4 weeks before the season was over. And they was like, oh, we're going to lose our seeding in this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. They brought somebody in that could manage that season up until he came back, and they still ended up getting their first round bye. So it's not...
I mean, control. Wasn't Gardner Minshew playing for? A little
Yeah, I
bit
think it
stepped in
was
for
Gardner.
him? Yeah,
I think
if
it was
remember,
Gardner
I think it was
Minshew
Gardner
playing for
Minshew.
them, and it was just like that's a game changing team that needed a game manager. All these teams don't always need a game changer. Sometimes we need somebody to come in and manage the boat. You know, manage the sail and try to and pretty much just try to get us to safe shore. That's pretty much it.
True.
And that's where the Browns is at right now. They don't need no game changer. If anything, they probably need to like. They probably need restructuring, and if anything, but they don't. Yeah, they not in a point in the season where they need to have no game changer.
And respectfully, I feel like if you want to go through that rebuild, low key, I feel like getting rid of Deshaun Watson would be a good first start.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of still upset that they got rid of Amari Cooper.
Yeah, 100%. That was dumb. They did not have to trade Amari Cooper at all. They did not have to trade that man.
It's like if you just get him a quarterback, he can do good. Because now look what he's doing with the Bills.
Here's my thing, because I ain't going to sit here and act like I wasn't a Deshaun Watson buy-in when he came out of Clemson. Because I remember talking about it with one of my friends. I thought he was getting drafted to the Niners, but the Niners ended up taking Nick Bosa over Deshaun Watson. So I thought that because he was that good in college, I thought he was going to go that high. I thought he was going to be a Niner. So, like, I ain't going to sit here and act like I wasn't bought in, but he is not the same quarterback he was in Houston a couple years ago, bruh. Like, and these teams got to stop looking at players who are taking a year off, because he didn't take a year off an injury. He took a year off because of the situation. You got to factor that in. He's not playing football for a year. Why do you think Colin Kaepernick isn't getting a job realistically? Like, yeah, was it wrong what happened to him? But the man hasn't played football in 7 years? And you think you just gonna walk back on this field and just snap back into your old self? Look at Aaron Rodgers. Did he snap back yet? No. The only person that really had a off year and really probably snapped back into themselves is probably Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen of recent memory. Them the guys that like had a little rough patch and then snapped back into it. But these other guys, they not snapping back into what they was before they went to these dude squads and all this type of stuff. So stop paying these dudes and then getting upset about it in the future, because now, yeah, you can rebuild. That contract is fully guaranteed, and this is no getting around that. When that contract is fully guaranteed, unless you got some fine line in that contract, which I doubt the Browns did because they're the Browns, he getting that full $232 million.
Yeah.
So now, how you gonna make it back and pay the next guy? That's where I think y'all gotta go from. But yeah, the Browns. Yeah, they out of there.
Yeah, and Russ balling out 21 for 28, 270, one touchdown. Jalen Warren 11 carries, 45 yards, one touchdown.
You said 35 or 45?
45 yards for Jalen Warren. Calvin Austin getting it done through receptions, 78 yards.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, he did
saw
get
him
that
a
touchdown
lot.
in the back of the end zone.
I saw him a lot. They bro.
And he's been kind of turnover. I remember I was watching.
They got some speed on that squad.
And
bro.
I was watching one of the games a couple weeks ago when they was playing the Giants, and he had that long kick return. I was like, wow, I didn't. Nobody expected that.
That's why I'm saying, like, when are they going to start using the one bull from Michigan? Because the one bull from Michigan, like, he is a little shifty bull. Like he was giving us work last season in the Rose Bowl. I think his name Roman Wilson. He wore number 1. I don't know what he wears. Wilson. I don't know what he wears exactly on the Steelers, but I know for sure that he's a Steeler. I don't understand why they're not using him.
Yeah, I haven't heard his name in a while though. Too.
Huh?
Roman Wilson. I haven't heard his name in a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought he was going to be a good focal point.
Yeah, he was balling out at Michigan. Yeah, I was watching.
And I think George Pickett's holding them back a little bit.
How so?
He do too much.
Okay, I see.
He do way too much.
I see.
Like, bro, you got the first down. Go get the touchdown. Like,
yeah. No, I know. Speaking of George Pickens, before we get off that, towards the end of the game, off the Hail Mary, rather than going for the ball, he's fighting players and fans. And I'm like, okay, game was on the line, and that's what you decided to do. Okay, more power to you. and not only and this is the second time doing that with a crucial play involved. Remember, we saw that a couple weeks ago against the Commanders. Ball's getting picked off rather than making the tackle. He's worried about another guy that doesn't even have the ball and gives up almost a big return. Now, had he just gotten that stop right there.
He tried to prove himself too much on the field. Yeah. It's just like, bro.
Just play. It's okay. Like, you're good. Like, we know you're good. Just relax.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know J. Cole's not here. I know he's probably smiling from ear to ear wherever he is. But Eagles getting the dub last night against the Rams. That was a good game, especially for Saquon.
Yeah, bro, I looked at his stat, but he had 255.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I look,
Cuz had 255.
and now hear me out though. I thought Rams could have made something shake, right?
Yeah.
Because and we look at it right, the underdogs at home playing one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, all right, this might be a little upset. I'm like, okay, it's like 7-3 right now. All right, Rams might be able to pull away with this one, but. Once I seen Saquon score, and then once I seen him get off like a big run towards
and
the
then
end.
AJ Brown was getting off too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. AJ Brown, 6 receptions, 109 yards, a touchdown. Saquon, 26 yards, 255 from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns. Insane. Saquon Barkley showing that he's an MVP candidate, and I believe so.
I like he just diff, bro. And like I was talking earlier, like I'm just like I'm not an Eagles fan, but I'm a huge Saquon Barkley fan. Like I was huge on Saquon Barkley coming out of Penn State, and as a matter of fact, it was him and DeAndre Swift were like probably my favorite running backs from recent memory for college. And to see Saquon like finally getting back into that mode, yeah, as a fan, like I'm smiling ear to ear because like. They really tried to play with that man's name, bro.
Yeah.
Like on some real, like they really tried to play with that man's name. Like he's not Saquon Barkley. Like, like bro, he's like you don't get drafted number 2 overall at running back for a reason. Yeah. And respectfully, could have went number 1 if the Browns did not desperately need a quarterback, which they could have gotten, which they realistically could have gotten 6 picks later. So they could have took Saquon first and still got Baker Mayfield.
Right.
You don't treat no running back who was in the because what's his name is coming up now? Gene T? Mm-hmm. He ain't being projected to be no top 5 at all. Yeah, he's top 10 and up. Saquon Barkley wasn't falling out of the top 5 when he came out. When's the next time? And respectfully, I know Bijan Robinson got taken at 8, not this past draft, but the year before. That ain't no number 8 overall running back.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not surprised that Saquon had this monster game because I mean, when you look at the Rams in the defensive rankings in rushing wise, they're 18th. They given up 127 yards from scrimmage, and they've allowed 7 rushing touchdowns on the season. So I mean, I'm not really all that surprised that Saquon was having this monster.
He definitely rejuvenated that offense. I don't think the Eagles take too much of a step back keeping Swift, but I do think that Saquon Barkley he's just provided a whole new type of dynamic to this offense. And you even saw it on there mic'd up a couple weeks ago. He went in there to do the tush push, and he was like, "No, run that again. I can get the push. Those are little things that Saquon adds that DeAndre Swift didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a huge DeAndre Swift fan. Yeah, I know. Like a huge DeAndre Swift fan. Like if you know me, then you know like DeAndre Swift was one of my favorite running backs. But it's just like he did not. Saquon brings more that he doesn't. Yeah. And I think that's just what it overall boiled around with. And I'm just glad that he's having this career revival because the Giants really like
Giants almost tarnished him, man.
They disrespected that man so bad. And I think it's gonna when he ends up retiring, them choosing to let him walk is gonna be up there with Barry Sanders retiring. And Bandy Sanders retired, but we know he retired because they wasn't going to do nothing for him. He was playing for a team that wasn't playing for him. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, not playing for teams that are contenders, teams with chemistry.
I'm playing for y'all.
The chemistry, they have the weapons.
Exactly, I'm playing for y'all, but y'all not helping me out. Saquon was playing for the Giants. They wasn't helping him out. Now he's on the Eagles, and they help.
He has help. Finally, you give him a team with some weapons.
Equally yoked, bro.
And I feel like, and now with the Saquon move, I feel like this is a big weight lifted off of his shoulders.
Yes, 100%.
With the Giants, it's like he was that entire offense. He was that entire offense.
He said that on the pivot. He literally was like, they let me do more here. I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
I
'cause the
was the
Giants was just
only
all him.
one.
It
He
was the
literally was
offense.
basically I'm paraphrasing, but this like what he was saying. It basically alluded I was the only one in New York. That wasn't his exact words, but that's what he was saying, bro. Like there's more here. Like I'm not the only one that has to carry the ball.
To be fair, when he had OBJ and Sterling Shepard,
He
that was
got
like the
Odell
last
for a
bit of help he
year.
had in New York.
Yeah,
and then after
he got that for a year.
Yeah, he only had that for a year.
He didn't even get that for 2 years. He got Odell for a year before they shipped him off. And Odell he hadn't even really declined at this point. He was still going
still in his prime.
He had 1,000 on the season with Saquon. And I'm like, yo.
That was ramen noodle hero though Beckham. Who was still a dog.
That was still Ramen Odell, bro.
Hey, look, one thing, like our kids when they ask them, say, "Dad, how good was 2016 through 2019?"
I ain't even gonna say nothing. Just sit down and watch.
I said, "Son,
sit
we're
down.
gonna turn this on. We're gonna start with that one-handed catch."
They asked me that question, yo. They asked me how good Tom Brady was.
So my son,
I'm gonna just look at you and just say,
"My son, come with
sit
me."
down. Yeah, sit down.
In NFL,
Just sit down.
Speaking of Brady, NFL has a whole highlight tape, basically like a career retrospect of Tom Brady after he retired. It was like basically a whole movie, like a movie style.
Tom
video.
Brady had 3 careers.
Literally, from each different. He played the 2000s, 2010s, and then the 2020s.
Tom Brady had 3 different careers.
Like 3 different careers in 3 different decades.
And he got a ring in each one of them.
No, literally. And mind you, this is how you know Brady was in the league for so long. Dude was literally playing his first Madden, I think was Madden 01. That was the PS2. His last Madden was Madden.
No. His first Madden was Madden 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Madden 2000. It was either Madden 2000 or Madden 99, one of them. No, because he was drafted.
He was drafted
in 99 through that I think he was drafted in 99, sat until 2001, and then his first year in 2001 is when he won the Super Bowl. I think that's how it went down.
I mean, but Brady started off on the PS2 era of games to the PS3, Xbox 360 to the gen we got now. That's how.
And keep in mind, this second installment of Madden. So Madden 24 and 25 is literally the only ones he ain't been on. Factor that in.
Panthers. I know you wanted to talk about this one. Panthers. As you remember, you kept talking about dark horses. I remember you talking about underdogs, dark horses. That almost came true yesterday. You weren't wrong. You were not wrong.
I be trying to tell y'all, bro. I know this game, bro. Like I be trying to tell y'all, bro. I know this game, yo.
Like, what did the Panthers end up beating the Chiefs?
And they almost did it. They was a play away. Like they almost did it. Like I'm so mad that they didn't do it because yo, Carolina was in that game yesterday, bro.
And we also talked before the show. You said Bryce Young didn't play bad. He did not. He went 21 for 35, 263, and a touchdown. Against
and here's the thing.
A Super Bowl contender, a team that contenders?
And here's the thing. There were some passes, and there was a couple passes that Bryce Young threw that just weren't caught that would have been touchdowns. He had one to Adam Thielen where if the call had gotten called because they called it later on into the game because it was the same throw, but he threw it in like the first quarter and it was a DPI that should have got called but didn't, and it would have been a touchdown. The ball placement was great. Pause. And then also when whatchamacallit, it was another one to the tight end right over top. But he just dropped it at the last second. So this what that shows is that Kansas City is that Carolina they're willing to see what this man can do and where he can put the ball at. And once they mesh it together, they're gonna move forward, bro. But they gotta help him. That's probably most secure I've seen Bryce Young in the pocket since he's been in the NFL. That game yesterday,
without a doubt.
He was secure in that pocket.
It's
yesterday.
and he's looking more confident now too. And I feel like that benching earlier in the season,
it did something for him.
Yeah, exactly.
I told people off the rip he should have never started when he became a rookie. And they was like, oh well, CJ Stroud started this at the third.
But who was the Texans going to play? Davis Mills again? Literally, who are you going to play?
And then it's just You can get away with playing Matt Corral for the Panthers, but
Oh, no, Matt Corral actually got cut by the Panthers.
yeah, he's in. I was about to say he's in the XFL, so like it's not like you really had any options just like not starting. But I definitely don't think he should have started. I think Andy Dalton, because he was still on the squad last year. I feel like Andy Dalton respectfully should have played that whole season until you couldn't do it no more. Like that's what I feel like you should do. You go with the vet. Same thing we did. Yeah, we're not in no position to win, but it's at this point where like, if we're gonna lose, are we gonna still settle for a terrible quarterback play, or are we gonna get slightly better quarterback play and just figure out how to put it together in the long run?
Right.
So they should have did that. They rushed him into the scenery too early. Let the boys sit back and really get a feel for what he can do. And what he's supposed to do in a specific system. So I think they're doing that, and he'll be good for the long run.
And then to piggyback off that, and Bryce Young, he was able to keep up with Patrick Mahomes, and this is Patrick Mahomes we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then a guy in just the second season able
Let's
to keep
talk
up.
about it. Yeah. Cause and this go to my man's Delvin, yo. I told. That's all I can say.
Almost identical stats. Only thing was Patrick Mahomes just had 2 more touchdowns than him.
Yeah.
And just
D-Hop was balling.
yeah.
I think D-Hop had like
D-Hop,
2.
he had 5 receptions, 35 yards and a touchdown.
I thought he had 2.
I mean, but who really balled out was Noah Gray. I mean, that's 4 receptions, 66 yards and 2 touchdowns.
They said Bull came out of nowhere.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Noah Gray, he was pulling his weight last year too.
I don't even know who Noah Gray is.
Man, I thought you were talking like you knew, but now he's like another reliable tight end for the Chiefs.
Okay.
They definitely a good 1-2 punch rather than just Kelsey all the time. Now you got Noah Gray, and it's like now it's finally a good little balance. So teams got to watch out for both of them. Like both are reliable, in my opinion. And then when you go to Kareem Hunt, 16 carries, 68 yards, and no touchdowns.
Which is, he's there to get them to the red zone, not finish the red zone.
And definitely in a good pickup, like a familiar face for the injured Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, and respectfully, Kareem Hunt, he probably, without that situation, he's probably the running back of all them Kansas City rings anyway. Mm-hmm. So,
I remember what was that, the 2018 season, like the season when Mahomes first started like popping off and Kareem Hunt was alongside him.
The rookie? As a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt was balling that year.
Here's the one thing that people don't understand or take into consideration when they talk about Kareem Hunt leaving the Chiefs. Y'all don't even understand that this man led the league in rushing yards as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not a Power 5 rookie. He was a Toledo rookie. He came in and led the league in rushing. Yeah, he's been a dog, and it's good to see him finally back on the Chiefs. I respectfully feel like his release was unjust, but it's in the past. He's back with a successful career, probably heading towards a ring. I don't think he has no complaints. So if he's not complaining, how can I complain as a fan?
You have Kansas City Chiefs staying on top of the AFC West, 10-1, beat the Panthers 30-27. Ladies and gentlemen, for some of the audience that do watch WWE, me and Ashton are 2 big WWE fans. We've been watching it for years. I've been watching WWE since I was 6 years old in 2009. I remember my mom taking me to my very first WWE show in Verizon Center in DC. Yeah, it was a great time, great experience. So Survivor Series coming up next Saturday.
This Saturday,
excuse me. That 5-on-5 match, OG Bloodline, new Bloodline. Talk to us about it, Ash.
I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. It's not even like much I can say. Y'all just going to see once again that I'm right. Everybody, all my friends there is like, Ash, you tripping. Jimmy not doing nothing crazy. Jimmy not going to be, he's not going to turn on them. He got beat up by Solo and them.
Yeah.
Just wait. I'm trying to tell y'all. You can't. One thing you can't overlook when you watching wrestling, you can't overlook in the sports entertainment world. When somebody does a grimy deed, they gonna do that grimy deed again. This man then kicked his brother in the face and kicked his cousin in the face.
Yep.
Why do you think he is not gonna flip the whole script and make sure that he's the big dog on top? Y'all wait and see.
I'm very excited. The addition of Bronson Reed to that new bloodline.
I hope they keep him there.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. I kind of thought I was like, all right, now imagine
I rock with it.
As a Bronson Reed in the new bloodline, like moving forward. And that's not a bad. Is he Samoan or he's?
No, he's Australian.
I know he's Australian, but he kind of looks Australian. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That would be a good addition to that storyline, like moving forward, especially after.
100%, yo. Like, and then like then if they go the route where Solo go back to the OG bloodline, like get kicked out his bloodline, they could realistically make Bronson Reed the enforcer of that bloodline.
True.
If I'm keeping it a stack, they could easily make him the enforcer of that bloodline. So I think overall, I think that match ends up being OG bloodline comes out on top. There will be some shenanigans that go on. I think The Rock ends up popping back up on Saturday. Whether he puts his hands on somebody or not, I don't know. But I think The Rock pops up on Saturday. As far as women's war games go, I think we should talk about what happened before.
Yeah, Jade Cargill on episode of SmackDown, kayfabe getting injured.
I know who did it.
You and I was confused yesterday. He was like, I know who did it. I was like, yeah, living in Raquel Rodriguez. He's like, no, he's like Charlotte Flair. I was like, Charlotte Flair.
Watch, like, she's not y'all.
I was like, bro, I haven't seen her since last year's
War Games. And who was the last person she came face to face with?
Jade.
Like y'all don't be paying attention, cuz like I swear y'all don't, bro. Y'all don't be seeing it. People talk about, oh, it's Becky Lynch. What does Becky Lynch got to do with Jade Cargill? Her beef is with Liv Morgan. She's the one that sent her off into the sunset. So what are y'all talking about? Yeah, because I commented on TikTok. I was like, the Blondie did it. They was like, yeah, we know Liv Morgan did it. I'm not talking about Liv Morgan, buddy.
But no, literally, I didn't even think of Charlotte Flair. Like, Charlotte Flair was the last person that came to mind.
Trying to tell you, they got to find some type of interesting way to bring her back in. And I feel like they don't bring Charlotte Flair back in as a face. Like, what? Especially when she's like, what, 1 or 2 title wins away from breaking her Pop's record. So, yeah, I think she did it. The only other person I can see doing it outside of Charlotte Flair was Naomi. But I only see that being the result based on what happens this Saturday with the OG bloodline. If it turns out that Jimmy Uso is behind some shenanigans with our OG bloodline and he's really working with Paul Heyman behind the scenes, then I 100% think that it was Naomi, because then I think they established that foundation where they finally bring Naomi into the family business and whatnot.
Hey, Kamari actually was just in my ear about that too, about Naomi being linked in the bloodline, since Jimmy.
Yeah, she was. I was telling one of my friends yesterday. She was on.
And I feel like definitely, I feel like she should play a role.
Yeah, bro. That family tree that The Rock showed during the WrestleMania 40 press conference. She was on that family tree. Mm-hmm. They do little stuff that like bro. They not putting her on that family tree for no reason. She's not a direct link in the family. She married into the family.
Right.
So it's like for them to have her on that family tree, they did that for a certain reason. And as much as I get tired of the slow burn, this might be one of the slow burns that we've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. So we gonna see on Saturday.
And then let's move to the championship match. Daring Guerrero Gunther versus Damian Priest. Yeah, I know you're gonna laugh at me. Yeah, but Gunther versus Damian Priest. Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. Mm-hmm. I think that's gonna be a good match. A lot of people think Gunther is gonna get the win, but remember how I was always talking about Ludwig Kaiser eventually turning on Gunther. I feel like that might happen. I got a feeling.
I just feel like that's cool when it happens, but like.
I mean, but then again,
I'm not trying to see Damian Priest as champion again. I didn't even want to see him like win at WrestleMania. Like in the video that I got, because I was there. Like in the video that I got of the cash in, you really hear me screaming in the back, no, because like that's how bad I did not want that man to win. Because it's just like I'm one of the people where like I don't like a good guy just because he went through a struggle or whatnot, and that's the base of his character. And then I'm also not a fan of the good guy in WWE that like wants to act like he wasn't raising hell for the past 2-3 years with his group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the same way Roman Reigns is going through that like forgiveness stage and like earning people's trust back, why is Damian Priest not going through that?
Right.
Like he wasn't the leader of Judgment Day along with Rhea Ripley. Why is he not going through that? So yeah, I don't want to see Damian Priest as champ at like any type of champ at all for a good amount of time. I don't think he's good promo wise. His moveset isn't appealing to me. Yeah, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him win the belt back, and it just is what it is. I think he should take a maybe like a more surface level storyline and really build his character up so I can. You know, I'm not saying it's just me, but like so I could take him serious as a fan because right now I just can't.
Yeah. And one more championship match that's not officially on the card, but I know this upcoming Friday on SmackDown it will be on the card, and that's gonna be Cody versus Kevin. I know.
Oh, for real?
I have a feeling. I mean, it's not like I'm looking right now. It's not on the card, but
Yeah,
it's
like,
leading on Friday on
I don't think
SmackDown.
they leave Cody Rhodes off the card to start a Survivor Series.
Yeah, they're not leaving him off that.
I don't
card.
think
They ain't
so.
leaving him off there. Not at all. Not in the slightest. But yeah, no. But Kevin Owens in Cody Rhodes Friday on SmackDown, I did see that promo that Cody Rhodes said only the guy that self-sabotages the most is Kevin Owens himself. And a part of me, I feel like this heel turn, I know Kevin Owens has turned heel and face so many times, but I feel like this heel turn honestly was justified because for Cody, it's like you teaming with the guy that was really disrespecting the life out of you, your family, all that, and you're going to turn around and help this guy versus the guy that was literally sticking by you no matter what. I feel like this one was
and
justified.
then, like, also people brought up the fact that, like, yeah, like, Cody teamed with Roman and stuff like that, but people are failing to forget Roman didn't ask. True. Roman never asked.
Yeah, Roman never. Yeah, Roman.
He held his hand
asked.
out, said, "Hand me the contract. Give me the contract. We're going to get this over and done with." Roman didn't ask. So let's not do that. Let's not sit here and act like Roman asked and whatnot. And then also, I'm happy that Kevin Owens turned heel because there are just certain guys that I do like, whether I like you or not. There's just certain guys I do not like seeing being good guys, and he's one of them. Like, why do you want me to take this guy serious as a good guy when the first thing he did to debut on the main roster was went after the top guy and then stepped on his belt? That's not somebody I want to see all happy and jolly on my TV every week. So I'm glad he took that route. And I also think that, after seeing what certain people are saying, I actually think it's not a bad idea for him to beat Cody Rhodes at some point. Because we're in November, realistically going into
December and the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, like you can drag this story along to the point where Cody can probably beat Kevin Owens if they have a match through interference of Randy Orton and stuff like that. It leads to a potential triple threat match, or we're not actually no, not a triple threat match, but just leads to a match with Randy and KO. KO enters the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, goes on to WrestleMania, and then you worrying about the World Heavyweight Championship. That'll get settled. And then that leaves way more room for Rock and Roman. So this Cody and Kevin Owens storyline, they can stretch this storyline out all the way until WrestleMania. And respectfully, they can stretch it out to the benefit of other storylines that are going to be leading into WrestleMania. Right. Because, we already know that CM Punk is probably going one-on-one with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. We're finally getting the ultimate dream match of Rock and Roman, hopefully, and Cena's last WrestleMania match to get the World Heavyweight Championship if they so do that. Like, there's so many avenues that they can take based off of this storyline going into WrestleMania. So I think if they do it right, they can make something out of it.
Yeah, that wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching Off the Clock.
We'll be back next week, and our co-host J. Cole will be back in the building.
Yeah, we'll be back.
And happy Thanksgiving to y'all, too.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Eat some good turkey. We'll see you guys next time.